Hey friends, this is the eNews for the week of October 4th. I hope that you are well. And I hope that you were able to be present for worship this past Sunday. I don't know how it translates online or over technology, but if you are in the sanctuary, if you were in the sanctuary this past Sunday, you would have just experienced and felt the very presence of God. It was heavy. The gravity of God's presence was just really obvious to those of us who were here, and for a number of reasons. One, we came to the table for communion. A big part of that is just the offerings of music that are made each Sunday. So grateful for Ron's leadership. And this past Sunday, the cherub choir and the youth choir and the praise team and the chancel choir. The holiness of God was lifted up. And whenever we lift up God in His holiness, there is a sense of awe and just a beautiful understanding of our Creator that is magnificent and joyful. So I hope that you can be present on Sundays, because it's not to be taken for granted that God is so active and at work and alive in this people we call Elfenwild Church. I wanted to follow up, though, also on my reflections on the Ten Commandments. As I was studying in preparation for this past week, I was overwhelmed with there's so much more to say about the Ten Commandments. I know that many of us, some of us that are my age or older, will remember Charlton Heston playing the role of Moses in that epic movie, The Ten Commandments. There are also other versions of that are more contemporary. But at the heart of God's revelation of the law is the revelation of His holiness again, His character. And it was really humbling to me. So I want to say two things. One is that we remember that God's commands, God's laws, God's statutes are gifts to us. They're His grace, that He's revealing Himself and His desire for His people to reflect His glory in the world. So we are not made for the law, but the law was given to us for our benefit. And the second part of that is to remember that those gifts indeed allow us to be encouraged to grow in faith and be holy as a light to the world, as a light to the nations. And the second thing I wanted to add about the commandments is that when Jesus was questioned about which commandment was greatest, He responded this way: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second is like it: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. In my reflection, I realized that it's the first commandment, to love God, that really gives me the inspiration and the conviction to want to live the obedient life, the holy life. For some reason, I can justify or rationalize my sin against others or even myself. But when I put it in the perspective of being obedient to the Lord and of failing Him, that inspires me. That moves me to want to grow in holiness. So I want to encourage you not to try to justify or rationalize our misbehaviors, our bad choices, but to understand that it's really our relationship with God. It's looking up to God, who is holy. That's the inspiration we should have, and to know that that holy God has loved us so much to give us His Son Jesus. So please remember that. Remember that your walk, your first commandment, is to walk with God. And as we walk with God, then our walk with one another sort of falls out from that. So I want to encourage us to remember that the law was given to us for our benefit, and we weren't made for the law. We all fall short, brothers and sisters. We all fail in being obedient all the time. So that's why we can be thankful for Jesus, for He is the one who is righteous. I want to, again, remind you to please reach out if we can be present for you in any way. We care about you. We want to be the presence of God in your life. So give us a text or a phone call or an email. We love you. Take care. God bless. Have a great day.